Hello and welcome to another exciting, fun-filled episode of Weekly Entertainment. Ready for another week of madcap mayhem in broadcast journalism. I know I always look forward to it, and I hope you do too. And thanks for tuning in. We have a great show for you to plan for you today. Here it is, the day after Halloween. It's November 1st. So, still staying in the Halloween spirit, we have a really cool guest lined up for you. This is something I've been trying to line up for the longest time now, and we finally got her. But, we have an actual paranormal investigator on the show today. She not only looks for ghosts, but she can also rid your house of ghosts, poltergeists, demons, aliens, you name it, she can get rid of it. So we're going to be talking to her today. It's just like the movie Poltergeist. This house is clean. So, yeah, definitely want to stay tuned for that. That's going to be exciting. And we have another really cool Ian video today. We're going to be looking at cooking. We're going to be making some spaghetti, which is one of my favorites. I know I eat spaghetti usually 4 times a week, and all the other days it's pizza. That's why I'm not very photogenic. But we got a great show for you today. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned. Well, we got some news this week. As you all know, we had the World Series. The Tigers were unfortunately swept by the San Francisco Giants. And seems like the day after, San Francisco went crazy. They were rioting in the streets. So apparently they liked Detroit so much, they felt homesick for it. So they wanted to make San Francisco look just like Detroit by trashing it. Okay, another thing, Frankenstorm hit. Huge storm knocked out most of the seaboard, but and I guess the Jersey Shore was the hardest hit. But the damage could have been a lot worse. They really saved this city because it was on the Jersey Shore, so Snooki's butt actually acted as a natural levee, and it saved the city from mass destruction. And, of course, Obama paid them a visit, and he leaped into action like a hero because, nothing brings the country together like a photo op. Okay, well, we have a great show for you tonight, and we have Tina Van Kerkendal. She's a paranormal investigator, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to yet another video. Today, we've decided to go ahead and do a cooking video for you guys. So, we're going to get started today. We attempted this on the web. Didn't turn out as good as I'd hoped, but we're going to try it again. I'm going to try spaghetti again. We got all the stuff all ready to go. Got our pan here. And there's strainers already in the sink over there. So let's get started. We're going to first go over and take our bowl and head over to the sink. So let's go over to the sink right now. Okay, let's get the water warm first. Alright, that's good. Put the pan in. Basically want this to be a little bit more than halfway. No more. Okay, that's good, and let's bring it over to the stove now. Okay, here we go on the stove now. Alright, now all there is to do is turn the stove top on to high and wait for the water to boil. Alright. Depending on how warm the water is, I'm not really sure if that has to do with how long it takes to boil, but sometimes it takes up to about 5 minutes or longer depending on how warm or cold the water is. Hot water might boil in less time, but it's said to just normally do it in warm water to cook spaghetti, which we'll be continuing here. So just wanted to give you that little detail, and once the water is boiling, we will come back and continue the segment, which should be very shortly within the next few minutes. Alright, water's boiling. So let's get some spaghetti going in there. That looks like a lot, but it's really not. Oops. Took a few more, maybe. Yeah, that will do it. Alright. Get them all bunched together. I break them in the sink. Just like that. We take them over to the stove now. As you can see, the water is now boiling more than I normally let it. So I'm going to quickly put the spaghetti in there. Some fell, some didn't make it in there. Then I'm going to start stirring it up. Get it stirring. I am also now going to turn it down to medium high, or at least medium. Turn it down so it doesn't overboil. Alright, so it's been a few minutes, almost 10. It's taken a long time. It should be getting about done, so let's have a test here. And what you want to do is, well, that one didn't want to go, huh? Take one. Kind of play with it, handle it, try it out, and check it. You could taste it too. And since there's no doughiness or crunchiness, we're ready to take it off. So we're going to do that right now. So we're gonna take it off the stove and put it in the sink. We're also gonna turn off the stove. I'm gonna dump it into the sink here very carefully. Let all the steam roll out. Now that that's done, and to put that off camera. And I tilt to it, so hang on, or pan to it. Move it closer so you guys can see. Let's go down here. It's probably as best an angle as I can get. Then we're just gonna, well, maybe I can get a better one for you guys. And then just make sure it makes it into the bowl. And I'm gonna grab butter and knife from the cabinet over here. Well, probably that much, maybe. And just put it in there, mix it around until it's completely done. Once it's done, put that in the sink, put this butter on it, get a bowl and some other stuff that you can use. You can put basically anything you want with it. I'm going to put this camera. We're gonna have a bowl, put the bowl in your view. Also, I like to put cheese, so I don't see any. Yeah, there's some. I like to have some Parmesan cheese with mine. You can basically do whatever you want, and then you just slide it into the bowl, and you're done. With my hands, probably shouldn't. And that's basically it. That will basically wrap up this week cooking segment, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Weekly Entertainment. I am your host. I'm Rudy. Thanks for joining us again. I hope you're ready for another week of Madcap Mayhem in broadcast journalism. Like I said in the opening monologue, this is the day after Halloween. It's a new month. It's November, but we're still in the spirit. I know I have a huge bowl full of candy at home that I'm going to consume when I get there, but well, today we have a paranormal investigator, so let's give a big, warm Weekly Entertainment welcome to Tina. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So tell us a little bit about what you do. I understand you are a paranormal investigator. You go into people's houses and look around for ghosts and spirits and things like that.
Well, pretty much the focus on that is if people are having problems, they usually contact me.
Okay.
You know, there's the whole paranormal field is actually very large and in depth, and
Really?
yeah. So there's certain things that you can do to keep your house, you know, clean, so that you're
Okay.
not bothered so much by.
Well, what's usually the point where somebody will pick up the phone and call? Like what? Because I know,
Most
people might have cold spots, or you might hear stuff, or lights may turn on and off. But is there a certain point you've seen where people start to freak out and actually pick up the phone and call?
Yeah, when they just cannot tolerate it anymore. Like most people will deal with it. I think it's more of an embarrassment thing to actually say,
Embarrassment
"Oh,
thing.
I have." It's not like you're calling and saying, "An exterminator, I have bugs in my house," or "I have mice. Can you come get rid of them?" So it's very a sensitive area. People, don't want to say, "I have ghosts." It's not the same.
Well, yeah, because
so-
people will think you're crazy. Obviously,
Yes.
it's not something. That's not even something that's in the phone book. You
Right.
can just look it up. Oh, here's a ghost. Get rid of her.
Right.
I guess that's a technical term. A ghost. Get rid of her.
That's cute. I like
But
that.
so are these the people that are just experiencing cold spots or lights turning, or have you had anyone that's actually seen a ghost, like an actual full-bodied?
There have
spirit?
been, sure, yes, there have been quite a few
Really?
episodes of people that a lot of times the houses are old houses that they live in, and the past people are still there, the ghosts are still there, so they will see like the person that lived there 100 years ago and perhaps died in the house or what have you. There's many things that it can actually be. I think people, they realize when they can't take any more of the middle of the night, the slamming doors, the cupboard doors opening, the kids waking up crying and screaming because they're scared. It's a point that they reach, they're like, okay, something's definitely going on. And
I mean, a lot of kids, have nightmares and wake up in the middle of the night, or even create these fantasies where they have invisible friends and things like that.
sure. But when the kids come running into your room, there's a man in my room or there's a woman in my room, parents tend to listen to,
Yeah.
they will listen to that. And when they go check it out,
Unless
they
it's
don't
Michael
see
Jackson.
anybody. Right, well, exactly.
But no, okay. So, what is the first thing you do when you enter someone's house? Say I called you. I have a ghost. I seen the spirit of a Civil War guy in my house.
My first approach is to actually interview you
Okay.
and just get to know you a little bit better,
Okay.
because that gives me a feel for your state of mind.
Okay.
Because again, we're dealing with paranormal, and it's such a large area, and sometimes there's reasonable explanations for things.
Well, yeah. So it could be just psychological, or Do you ever ask the people if they do drugs or if they have done drugs or if they drink or anything like that?
Simply because I don't want to offend them. I
Well,
don't
right,
want them to
right.
think, okay, you called me and you're asking for my help, then the first thing I'm going to do is offend you.
Well, yeah.
So, no, I
Well,
don't.
I think it would be a valid question, though.
It is, but you have just to be careful. I just be
People
careful.
could be hallucinating or they could have psychological problems.
Sure. That's something I ease into.
Oh, okay.
Usually
okay.
when you're studying, it's not the first day. It takes you a couple of days, especially
Oh, I
if you're
see.
going to go.
Okay, so you don't just jump into it, say,
Right.
oh, automatically assume that,
Right.
that it's going to be a ghost, that the house is haunted.
Correct.
So, okay, so you try to get a feel for the
Correct.
person and the situation they're in. Now, you brought up a point about, old 100-year-old houses.
Mm-hmm.
Does the phenomenon seem to happen more in older houses than, say, a brand new house that was built within the last couple of years?
That can be a yes and a no answer.
Oh, okay.
Your older houses, of course, have the energy,
Right,
the
more-
older.
More history.
Correct. But if you have a brand new house, and let's say that you've had perhaps an occult person living in that house, even though it's only 10 years old, the energy source that they actually bring to that house is,
Oh, so somebody was into the occult.
that house would actually probably be worse than the haunted one of 100 years old.
So we're talking more of a demon than an actual ghost, which is what I wanted to ask you about the differences between a ghost, a poltergeist, and a demon, because there are differences
Different
with those,
levels.
correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, well, what in your theory, what is a ghost?
Um,
We'll start with that.
In my theory, that's cute. Well, a ghost, in my opinion, is a person that does not have their body anymore. So
Oh, right.
it's people that's lived. It can be, there's even pets. You can see your
Ghost pets, huh?
sure. You can see dogs, cats, what have you.
Wow. So they basically lost their way and didn't cross over.
Or they come back to visit.
Come
It's
back to
such
visit,
a
okay.
that's a possibility that our
Sure.
come back to visit or passing through or lost.
So there's really no evil behind it. It's really nothing. I know people are afraid of ghosts,
Yeah.
but so a ghost is really nothing
Harmless.
to really. Yeah, they're harmless basically. It's just a lost soul or somebody trying to like a friendly kind of contact
Yeah,
with no evil intent.
right.
Okay, well that makes sense. So now a poltergeist, I always assume they're kind of the one and the same, but I guess they're not, are they?
Yeah, the poltergeists are actually the nasty ones that
Okay.
nobody wants, that you do want to exterminate, and you don't want them in your house because
Okay.
they will disturb you.
Well, sure.
they-
Yeah.
That's their whole goal, is to completely rock your world. So
Oh, yeah, and people have actually been attacked.
Yes.
People have been bitten, pushed, suffocated.
sheets around their necks.
Yes, absolutely.
There's so much information, and
So the poltergeists don't last as long as a ghost will. I understand a poltergeist disturbance may last for days or weeks or months, but it eventually will stop.
or move.
Or
To
move.
me,
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
to move to a different,
Yeah.
get bored with you and just move somewhere else.
When it's finished, yeah, or you get it out of the house or what have you, it'll just relocate. They just relocate. They're
Oh, okay. So
interesting.
now a demon. That's a completely different bottle of wax, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that's not something. Can you actually get rid of a demon?
You can't so much get rid of them, but you can make them go to their side and leave you alone.
Oh, okay.
Demons have a odd way of trying to claim their right to you, and that gets really deep and complicated.
Okay, but it's something that you're able to take care of. I understand it's a personal thing.
It
with
is
the
a
person you're
spiritual
dealing
warfare.
With. Right, it's spiritual warfare,
It is.
and well,
And usually the
that's,
demons, we're talking about those, they tend to come to you when you're children a lot of times, and
Oh,
they'll
wow.
remain with you all your life. And a lot of times people are not even aware of it. They have
they'll actually follow your
illnesses.
children.
Oh yeah.
So, is it because the children are innocent, or or
they see
something like
from
that?
birth
Okay.
that there's a possibility they can corrupt your soul, so therefore they jump on the train with that. And
Wow, that's
if
scary
there's
stuff.
a possibility they can corrupt your soul, that's their main goal
Well,
and
is
focus.
Is it because of something the parents did? Maybe they could
Sure.
have been into the occult,
Sure,
or maybe
yes.
didn't live a pure life, and they see that as kind of a as an open door.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So okay, so
It can be many reasons.
So really, the biggest deterrent is to live a clean and very spiritual life.
Well, at least, yeah, keep your heart open and
Okay.
temptation and all of your major sins, you know,
So
is
go to church, people.
not necessarily.
Oh,
You
really?
can bring the church to you. Well, I mean, go to church if you want to, sure.
Okay.
Yes, but nobody says, "Oh, you have to go to church or you will not be demon free." You can
Really?
bring
So
the-
even a church-going person can be affected by
Oh,
a demon,
yes.
a
Most
God-fearing
definitely. Most
Church-going,
definitely.
really?
Because they actually wait for an opportunity. We all have
Fascinating.
fear. We all have
sure.
human things, and the demons know that. So if they can attack you at any time, the closer you are to God, of course, the further away from them you are. But they're always they're like a part of life.
So you have demons always looking for a way in.
Sure.
Okay. And then that could maybe manifest itself as like a ghost experience, or maybe not so much a ghost as you define it, but your house could become infected, I guess.
And sometimes you might not even know. There's
Okay.
certain signs of demonology going on in your home.
Really?
Yeah, there'll be, of course, illnesses is very common. If the
Okay.
whole house is always sick, the kids are always sick, the parents are always sick, there's always a sickness, there's always anger, there's always violence, there's perhaps drinking problems.
Wow.
That is the demon's breeding ground right there. And
Really?
those people
Okay.
might not even realize, oh, well, I have demons. They're not even going to realize that their hate and their anger and their
Right,
drinking
right.
problem and the kids are always sick. Some people don't even put all that together.
Okay.
They don't even realize it. And that is actually, the demons.
And then you have your
Power source.
Amityville Horror House,
Oh, yeah.
basically. So somebody realizes what's going on and they call you.
Or someone like me.
After the interview process, what do you do then? You actually go into the house, and now do you bring in all the cameras and infrared cameras?
Well, I have my own theories about all that too,
Okay.
which is odd because I do believe that the ghosts see you coming, and as soon as they see the equipment and the van and the
They'll
whole everything,
stop
they're
what
like,
they're doing.
okay, it's time
Yeah,
to go
let's
hide.
lay low for a little bit until they leave, and then we'll.
And that's why I believe that the Ghost Hunters, one of my favorite shows, that's why there's not a whole lot of evidence that they have because the ghosts know they're coming.
Oh, okay,
So,
that makes sense.
yeah,
Hey, if
I
I were a
believe that.
ghost and I saw them coming, I'd lay low too.
Right?
Unless you really like the limelight like me, then I'd.
Or want to be heard or have
Yeah,
a message to put out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Well, okay, that's really interesting. Well, what did you think of the Paranormal Activity movies? As a matter of fact, there's a brand new one out, which I haven't seen yet, and really looking forward to that. Is that pretty? Are those pretty accurate?
Yeah,
Really?
sure.
Okay.
Yes. If everybody would tell their stories, that's what my interest is,
Oh,
to eventually everybody just get comfortable with the whole paranormal and start sharing their stories. And just like anything, of course, there's going to be crackpots,
well, sure, yeah.
but then you're going to actually get the whole good stories
Kind of takes
too.
the. Yeah, because if you came out right now, it's, people. That's why it's kind of kept in the closet. If you're having those kind of activities, because people think you're crazy.
And who wants to be called crazy?
No, or people think, they'll think you're a crackpot.
Right.
So yeah, I totally understand that.
Once you reach a point where you know I've got to have help with this, this is not going away, I can't sleep, the disturbance, this, that, and the other, whatever it happens to be, you get to the point to where you're like, I don't care if somebody thinks I'm crazy, I need help with this.
Okay. And then that's when they would call an expert.
Right.
How long have you been doing this for?
Many years. I
Okay.
want to say 20.
Oh, wow.
20.
Okay.
The last 15 has been actually hands-on and actually the cleansing. Before that, it was still getting familiar with myself and
okay.
what.
So you have to be a strong person in order to do
Yes.
this. You wouldn't recommend just anybody trying to go clear a house of demons, or say.
Most people know from a childhood that there's something about them that
Oh, okay.
it's
Okay.
a gift, or they're not normal, and you start soul searching within yourself, because there comes a point where you're like, am I crazy, or is this really going on?
Well, sure.
Which leads you all into a spiritual discovery to begin with, and then it just comes. It's like anything you
Okay.
learn, like your gifts, you learned those,
Right.
that you had those.
So basically, don't try this at home, folks. If you think you have a demon, call an expert.
You don't want to make them mad.
No, yeah, you don't want to make it mad, because it'll make things worse, right?
It will make things worse.
Yeah, it'll just make the.
But get educated, do some research, read some books, get educated before you tackle your problem. Because just like if you're trying to get rid of roaches in your house, you're not going to go buy spray for spider. So you got to use the right
interesting.
tools.
Well, that's almost all the time we have for today's show. That was very interesting. I'd like to thank you for coming.
And thank you for having me.
Do you have a website or anything? Or,
I am in the process of actually setting up all of that.
oh, are you? Okay. So, well, when you actually have a website, just let us know, and we'll have you back on the show, because this is really fascinating stuff. We could talk for 2 hours about this. I just think this is.
Thank you
That's
very
great.
much.
In the last minute, what was your scariest encounter? What was the scariest thing that ever happened to you?
Oh, the scariest thing that ever happened to me
In 1 minute.
personally. The sheet around my neck and the yanking out of bed was pretty scary. And
So
I was
the
a
sheet
kid.
actually wrapped itself
Yes.
around and did it pull like it was trying to
Yes,
strangle you?
I was actually jerked right out of the bed by it.
Oh,
The
wow.
sheet around my neck and yanked me right onto the floor, and I hit the floor.
Was it in
really
your
hard.
house, or was it in somebody a house you were trying to clean?
It was in a house that we lived in when I was a child.
Wow.
So I was 10.
Well, there you have it, folks. I'd like to thank Tina Van Kirkendall for visiting us on the show. Wow, this has been some chilling stuff today.
Speak up. Don't be scared.
Yep, just don't
the
be
help's
scared.
out there. Speak
It
up.
takes its power away.
It does.
And remember, if you want to be a guest on the show, if you're a musician, anything really, we're open to anything. You want to join us at weeklyentertainment.webs.com. It's right there on the screen. Just fill out the form, and you too can be a guest. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Good night, folks.